It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
Nigga, don't act like a...
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for a special Thursday night edition of the Shoe Shine. Guys, I'm all alone. My co-host Drew Evil's not feeling too good, so I hope it's a good show, man. It's definitely harder to ride solo, and always so much more fun to banter with my co-host Drew Evil. I hope he feels better. He said he might call in if he feels a little bit better. But man, it's been a crazy boxing week, and shout out to anybody that's actually watching boxing right now. I am watching it myself here on YouTube. I got the other screen open. It looks like Grant Flores of Coachella Valley, and of course, his older cousin, Gucci Flores of Coachella Valley, both trained by Antonio Diaz, one of the best trainers in the business. They're going live right now, and I'm going to be watching that and commentating alongside that fight, and also talking with you. El Chido Boxing, saludos raza. He says, man, it's been a minute. I appreciate it. Good to see you here. It's been a minute. By the way, I think I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to join. Momentarily, I'll drop that link. Let me just make a few adjustments here. Good to see you, man. What you talking about, Willis? We're going to talk about a little bit about what's going on with the potential appeal, Lamont Roach. And, he has made an appeal to the New York State Athletic Commission. His handlers, Gary Jonas of ProBox, has made an official appeal. The WBA Boxing, what a sham of an organization they are. I got to say.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
Shout out to Mr. Rogers. Gary Coleman is my spirit animal, of course. Of course he is. And, Steve Willis, the referee for last Saturday night's fight between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, he deserves all the bashing that's been going on. Just last Saturday, we witnessed basically Tank Davis potentially take his second loss, in my opinion. Lamont Roach was not given the benefit of the knockdown, even though Steve Willis started counting it as a knockdown. He started counting it. He gave the count. Then you got Gervonta Tank Davis running in between the ropes and then running to his corner to get his eyes or face wiped down. Somehow he took back that initial knockdown and whispered into Gervonta Tank Davis's ears, if it looks like a knockdown. If you take a knee, it looks like a knockdown. Now, you guys know that in New York, they do have the benefit of instant replay, but somehow, if you watch ProBox this week, the All-Star panel, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, and Jack Reese, referee, of course, who else was on that panel? Anyways, they mentioned that the actual instant replay malfunctioned and there was a technical difficulty, and they usually give it an extra 30 seconds, 90 seconds total, and they didn't get it. So they went ahead and just cited what Steve Willis said, which was a load of bullshit. Shout out to Big Spooky. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you in the chat. Just talking about what a crazy week it's been in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, not just Las Vegas, the U.S., Canada, the tariffs, an incoming recession. Crazy week in boxing, of course. We had midweek. We got the Ryan Garcia. The Cinco de Mayo super card in Times Square is going to happen, guys, and all of them were there. Teofimo just today was confronted by Cigar Talk podcast host, and he's confronted about Teofimo's blatant racism. Blatant racism. I mean, we can't even sugarcoat it. Some of the shit he's been doing lately. I will play a clip of that as well. Of course, also today we had the Canelo Skull press conference also in New York, and it looked kind of empty. In fact, I had seen that they were basically still giving away tickets to it for free today, and that's where Teofimo Lopez, I believe he was confronted today about his blatant racism by a podcasting host, Cigar Talk. Well, I'll play that in just a moment, but if you caught any of those press conferences, I'd like to know what you guys think. What did you guys think of these press conferences? To me, the one with the May 2nd card, let me just bring up who's fighting that week, guys, because this Cinco de Mayo card, in my honest opinion, this whole thing should be hosted in Las Vegas, and it's not. Let me take this one off the screen here, guys. An incredible weekend, Cinco de Mayo, and the only thing that, as a Las Vegas resident, I'm going to have the opportunity to attend is, of course, the Inoue fight on Sunday, May 4th. May 3rd, we got Canelo versus William Skull. They did their press conference today. And, of course, on Friday, May 2nd, we've got Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. We've got Devin Haney versus Ramirez. And we've got Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza, who just won in impressive fashion across the pond there. Shout out to Wile Coyote. Yeah, you saw that clip, man. That podcaster is pretty huge. Let me just play that clip. Looks to me like the fight. Is the fight over? I'm watching GoldenBoy 2, guys. Let me know if you guys are watching the GoldenBoy card on YouTube. From the Coachella Valley Casino, Indian Casino. But let's just go ahead and play this clip while I have it, because Teofimo was confronted, and I think rightfully so. He deserved to get called out on his bullshit.
Play me like I'm stupid now, bro. You all play, yo, bro. Everybody done told you how offensive that is, and you have fans. Motherfuckers fuck with you. Black people side up here and know we know, but how you gonna fuck with us and then call people monkeys and bananas and all that shit? Tio, you just did it at the press conference the other day. I told you. You just said it to Africa at the press conference the other day.
Monkeys and bananas, guys. I turned up my mic in case if Drew comes back, I'll turn down my mic, but I'm solo. I usually turn down this mic way down. So if it's too loud, let me know in the chat. I'm just going to adjust it. Shout out Sonteo Media. Man, he was there. I was with Sonteo Media last January 2020. Was the beginning of 2024, I believe. Teofimo Lopez was in the building. Arnold Barboza had made his debut on GoldenBoy Boxing. We were at the Virgin Hotel Casino. And Arnold Barboza was still chasing down Teofimo, trying to get a fight. And now that fight has come to fruition. El Chilo says, Teo was being annoying in the press conference where Ryan told him to shut up already. That shit was funny. That was the funniest fucking moment of the press conference in New York City. It was really, really drabby. And I was talking with my boy Sonteo Media here on social media, on X, Twitter. And I was kind of taken back because Dougie Fisher, who is obviously, he's a master's degree journalist, who's been in head of the Ring magazine for many, many years, very well-respected journalist. But apparently YouTube and the youngins don't know who the fuck he is, and they thought that was the most boring, worst host choice that Turki Al-Ashi could have picked for this press conference. And I have to admit, the press conference with Dougie Fisher, I mean, he's a brilliant guy, brilliant mind, great journalist, obviously the head of the Ring magazine. I don't know if he was the best fit for that press conference. You kind of need a hype man. I will agree with some people. I'm a bitch, but you kind of need a hype man to bring excitement. And it just seemed that, like, if it wasn't for Teofimo, if it wasn't for Teofimo's good vibrations, good vibration Teofimo Lopez over here, and the fact that him and Ryan got into it, that whole press conference was a fucking sham. It was boring as hell. What's going on with Teofimo? He's bringing back the Marky Mark overall 90s look. I mean, damn, I wish I could pull that off. Pause. And what's going on with that thumbnail I put up? That, by the way, that thumbnail is credit to Teofimo Lopez, who said he had too much protein that week. I don't know what the exact, what he put in the Twitter thing. He had too much protein. Wile Coyote says, yeah, that host was like a librarian. And of course, like I said, he's a great journalist, but I don't know if he was the right fit to hype up just an incredible card. Now, here's some details about this event, guys. In Times Square, New York City, only 300 lucky people are going to get to watch it live. I'm sure you can go kick it there in Times Square and hang out in the very, very back. But in the actual event space that they're going to have, only 300 lucky people will be invited by personal invitation. I have not yet received my invitation. Shout out Fonzie. I talked to Fonzie this week. He's looks like we're going to be attending the Palms Casino upcoming fight with Richard Torres, silver Olympic medalist Richard Torres, finally fighting a live body. Was it Guido Vianello, the Italian top-ranked signed heavyweight who beat Agave recently? What's his name? Efkabi recently, and man, Tio's dressed like the Django movie, The Slave Owners. It's a funny outfit, man. But actually, you know, this press conference, I don't know if it was the best to set it off. Here's who's fighting, guys. Again, you got Ryan, who shockingly, Ryan Garcia was very, very composed and mature. This is not the same Ryan Garcia that we saw leading up into the Devin Haney fight. In that fight, he was manic for every single event. He appeared to be intoxicated, or he admitted to being intoxicated. He appeared to be on, even he admits to being on weed, smoking weed, even though that didn't seem to come up in his PED tests that VADA had done. But he admits that he has an alcohol problem, a weed problem, and Lord knows what else, Lord knows what else. But he was extremely, I think, conservative. And shockingly, Rolando Romero out of Las Vegas, man, he was muted too. The guy is full of, damn. Sonteo's seen Raleigh in action at the casino with me. Raleigh is a clown. He's a funny guy. He's not a clown, but he's a very funny, entertaining guy. He's out there, and he makes for great interviews. And he really didn't have much to say back either to Ryan. These guys have already sparred. They know each other very well. There's some really great videotape out of their interactions and sparring sessions right here in Las Vegas. This might be the card most people are going to be excited about, but once we start looking at the odds, I think to be honest, this fight is probably going to be over rather quickly. If Ryan's is as quick and as explosive as he was in the Devin Haney fight, albeit without the Osterine, I think he's going to knock out Raleigh Romero. We've seen his chin already fail him multiple times. Shout out SB, says he must have been sedated, LOL. Wiley Coyote says, you can tell Garcia is going through some good therapy. He's acting normal, and I respect that. Yeah, he doesn't seem at all like the guy from last year, and maybe he's experiencing personal growth, which is obviously going to be a great thing. I'm also keeping tabs, guys. Shout out to the GoldenBoy boxing staff. There is a great fight going on right now. The co-main ended really quickly. Gabriel Rosado, Philadelphia fighter. He's the co-host. Man, it's good to see... It's good to see this card here. If you guys are watching along, let me know. Open up another window. El Chido Boxing says Ramirez versus Haney is the one I'm most interested in. And oh, God, man. That was actually a weekend that me and Sonteo didn't run into each other. And we were at the casino during COVID. That fight only allowed a maximum capacity of 3,000 people. I'm talking about Jose Ramirez of Fresno, California, Avino, California, to be exact, versus Josh Taylor for undisputed. Man, when will we get undisputed at 140 pounds? And I got to be honest with you, too. I agree with you 100% at Chilo Boxing that fight, I think, is going to be extremely competitive. For one thing, you got Haney coming off the worst beating of his life as a professional fighter. And it's always tough to get back in the ring and build your confidence. Usually, I like the approach Tim Zoo's team is taking, fighting Joey Spencer, PBC, taking not necessarily a soft opponent, but after taking that savage beating by Murtazeliov, he needs to go back. He needs to pick up an easier win. I don't think this is the case for Devin Haney at all. I don't believe it at all. This Devin Haney opponent, Jose, has had some very close fights recently, but he clearly is still a top 10 fighter in the 140-pound division, former unified champion. He's hungry as fuck. And one thing that Devin Haney has an issue with, obviously, is now his chin. He's been broken down, and we've all seen it. We all saw him he got knocked down, officially 3 times, potentially 5 times. He's got a lot of guts, but Jose Ramirez, the former Olympian for the U.S. Olympic team, former unified champion, he's hungry. He's not ready to retire. I think this is going to be one of the best fights. Could be the best fight on the card. A lot at stake. Devin Haney loses this, we don't get a rematch. Or do we get a rematch? Do you want to see a rematch? If Devin Haney gets knocked out against Jose Ramirez, do we get the rematch that they both signed up for later this fall? Shout out to Veronica. Appreciate you being in here. Wale Coyotes. Who else has up in here? LM Mori Trap Elite says, Pobre Rolly Romero, otra pelea que va a perder. What's funny though, man, is like Raleigh, a local Vegas kid who used to be a skater and whatnot and took on boxing late in life. His dad was, I think, an elite martial artist. I mean, I think I think he's going to be content in life. Even you get him a couple more paydays and then all of a sudden he's a gatekeeper. I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be content in life, eventually settling down with a woman and maybe having a family. I think he'll be all right. There's other guys that I can clearly see, like I just mentioned, Jose Ramirez, who's been at the very top, Olympic member, made the Olympics, been a unified champion, fought for undisputed. I think these guys have so much more pride that he's going to give Devin Haney a good fight. Also on the card, obviously, we just talked about Teofimo Lopez, who got fucking his ass handed to him today by Cigar Talk podcast host. Teo, shout out to him for finally fighting Arnold Barboza, El Monte, California's Arnold Barboza. Guys, we had Arnold Barboza on our show. Shout out to Big Lukey Boxing. Big Lukey writes for BoxingScene.com. He brought him on here just one random night. We were all on here, and he says, "Man, you want to call Arnold? Let's talk to Arnold." A great guy. Also, if you didn't know, he's really close friends with comedian. I love these guys. I've been watching Felipe Esparza at the Improv in San Jose, California. He actually puts on comedy shows. So if you get a chance to, I don't know, he's been pretty busy trying to become a world champion, but the next time he puts on a major comedy event in Southern California, you should check it out, man. He loves the comedy scene. He's good friends with Felipe Esparza. Shout out to all those guys over there. So another great fight. This is of the entire card. I think this one and of course Jose Ramirez is the ones I'm looking most forward to. And yeah, man, me and Sotel Media, we got to see Arnold Barboza chasing down Teofimo at the Virgin Casino. What was that, January of 2024? And I got to interview Teofimo. Shout out to Teofimo for getting me 10,000. His dad and him got me over 14,000 views, I believe, a piece. Shout out Boxing Magic Mex side. Teo for the toughest fight out of Ryan and Devin. Teo ducks, no smoke. I got Holmes winning probably by KO. Okay. Boxing Magic, let me know what you think, man. Did you see that interaction he had with Cigar Talk's podcast host where he got called out on his blatant racism? Now, you guys don't know, but I'm also some of you know, I think Veronica knows, but I'm deep in the Vegas YouTube community. I like to interact in all the chats and live streamer stuff. And we have a friend in that community. To many people, he's an enemy, but to a lot of people, he's an enemy. But this particular Vegas YouTuber, he came at some of my good friends who are African-American and came at him with the exact same bullshit 6 months ago. So I'm not sure if Teofimo Lopez watches these Vegas live streamers, but we have one of our own Latino Chicanos who went after the African-American YouTubers, calling them changos and saying that they go from banana to banana. If you're watching silently, say hello in the chat. If you're watching silently, this shit never works, bro. It's not a good look. There's no way you can spin. I know that this particular Vegas YouTuber tried to spin the narrative that he wasn't being racist and he was merely making an analogy that these YouTubers are like monkeys. Now, he said, I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about YouTubers are like monkeys and they chase bananas, which is chasing the next big. He claimed that he was saying the bananas is equal to views, to clicks, chasing the next big thing. Nah, bro. Nah, man, it never works. You can't spin that one, dog. You can't spin that and say that that's what you was trying to say. All right, let's get on to the next topic here. Oh, okay, Wiley, yeah. A drink to that, man. Shout out to everybody that watches those Vegas channels. Appreciate you, Wiley. He knows what I'm talking about. Fonzie says bananas are full of potassium. You spell potassium. Potassium, yeah, they are, man. They're also great for cramps. But again, I don't know how Teofimo's going to continue to spin that. The one thing that I think the YouTube host, of Cigar Talk made a good point is that you're alienating your own fan base. I mean, Teofimo's Honduran. And for me as a Chicano to be a fan of Teofimo, of what he's done in the ring, his accomplishments, and not his life outside of the ring. But, the podcast host made a good point, man. You're alienating everybody that supports you. What the fuck, man? And for you to think that African-American community doesn't support you is immature. It's immature. SB says, I like your cup. Appreciate that. It's my Dias de los Muertos cup. I don't know. My voice is kind of shot. I'm having tea, which let's see here. Santiago Media says Top Rank has set the precedent with allowing previous fighters to be racist. And I didn't, they did make a statement, but then they don't punish Teofimo. And it seems like Teofimo's on his way out. He's been trying to get out of his contract with Top Rank for the longest time. I'm going to remove this here so you guys can read the chat here, the highlighted chats, unless Drew calls in. All right. Let's talk about that UFC deal. I'm keeping my eye on the fight. GoldenBoy Boxing, Gucci Flores is about to fight. Let's see here. UFC, this is the big news. Oh my God, this news is massive. Obviously, Dana White's been hanging out with Turki Al-Sheikh. I know Oscar De La Hoya, he ain't buying it. It's probably really upsetting him behind the scenes, but it is what it is. They've been talking about it. Today, Dana White said, we have the same vision. He's talking about Turki Al-Sheikh. I trust that this league in short time will crush everything Turki Al-Sheikh on partnering with Dana White via the Ring Magazine, guys. All right, what is going on with that? UFC's Dana White and Khan is the head of the WWE Wrestling. Together, it's now called TKO Sports. It's a big conglomerate. And Turki Al-Sheikh have announced that they are starting their own boxing league. What does that entail? Well, they're aiming for a Mexican Independence Day of September 12th to have the premiere. Now, what I think personally is going to be like, guys, I used to enjoy watching UFC way back in the day, like most of you might have. Some of you still probably like watching UFC, but you guys all remember the TV show Tough Enough, where Dana White was looking for the next big MMA stars. A lot of stars like... what's that? Sanchez, Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. A lot of great athletes came out of that early era when the TV show Tough Enough. There was a great TV show on NBC many years back that also literally had world champion boxers come out of that. Sergio. We had Sergio. We had who else became a world champion from that? The guy from Las Vegas. The Contender TV show, guys. I'm picturing the Contender, Tough Enough. You got TV shows like Friday Night Fights on ESPN back in the day. It's glory days. Did boxing just get hijacked, yo? It sure seems like it, man. I think they're up to something good. I think this is going to be a good thing as far as developing young talent. And like TV shows like Showbox that used to be on Friday nights as well, ESPN Fights, they're not going to get the guys that the big three promoters, PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom Boxing, they're not going to get the guys that those guys have been scouting. They're not going to get the Olympic newbies that are medalists, the Olympic medalists. They're going to be getting guys that are doing very well maybe in the amateur circuit, European amateur circuit, American amateur circuit, that aren't getting signed. Take, for instance, the children of Fernando Ferros Vargas out of Las Vegas. Only one of their sons has a major contract, and that's Emiliano Vargas with Top Rank. His other two sons are still kind of freelancing. Alfonso Gomez from the Contender, man. Alfonso Gomez got to fight Canelo Alvarez early in his career. When Alfonso Gomez left that TV show, he was really like a welterweight, and to take fights professionally, he would move up in weight, and he took a beating by Canelo Alvarez, right? But because he had to gain weight, but because he had some notoriety and some name recognition from the TV show The Contender, he's like, I'm all for it. I'll take that. Alfonso Gomez. You also had, I've been talking about Peter Manfredo from Rhode Island, who was one of my favorite fighters that was literally a full-time electrician. He ended up going to fight Calzaghe in Europe on short notice. He took that fight against one of the greatest super middleweights, Calzaghe, and he got his butt whooped. Santiago says, how do you know they won't target Olympians? I'm speculating, to be honest, Santiago. I'm speculating that there's plenty of Olympic talent that I think they are going to scour. I think they are absolutely. But will they have enough money to get some of the... like the gold, silver medalists, like the Shakur Stevensons or the Andy Cruzes of the world who just won a gold medal? Will they be able to compete with that budgetary? They're talking about getting elite level talent and lesser known talent, so it might be a mix mash. But El Chito says, they should get them right out the gate. Get who? The Olympic medalists. they're going to need to draw some talent. There's also going to, like, we've got this whole thing with ProBox now who, ProBox has been a hit, in my opinion. And Lamont Roach is somebody that was dropped by his promoter, ends up going and getting signed by Jonas. Is it Gary? Jonas of ProBox. And he beat Tank this Saturday, in my opinion. He beat Tank. That's my fucking opinion. He beat Tank. You've had a lot of people. You got Angelo Leo, who was dropped by Top Rank, Las Vegas fighter Angelo Leo. Now he's the featherweight champion of the world, right? He's going to go fighting in Japan. I think that the UFC model might work to potentially build guys that are going to be world caliber, absolutely world caliber. It's going to be a good thing. There's too many sanctioning bodies, though, right, guys? I'm watching the screen right now. It looks like the main event, Gucci Flores, is going to be starting any second. Fonzie says, "Oh man, this one's hard. Fernando Vargas's kids are a joke." One of them told me he was a good fighter, and I laughed, and I told him if he has any more jokes to look me up. Oh, shit. Emiliano's doing pretty good. The whole Top Rank system of building up prospects, he's looking good, but every fight, you got to learn something new. Every fight at Top Rank, like what happened with the Gabe Flores situation. Gabe Flores just getting a freebie win recently in just the past week on ProBox itself. You got to build these fighters the right way. And sometimes they build them too timidly, and sometimes they build them at the proper speed, and sometimes they don't build them right at all. It just happens that way. Matchmaking is an art. It's not easy at all. Wiley Coyote says, I think this can open up crossovers for boxing. We have a lot of crossover boxing. If you're talking about YouTubers, we've got Misfit Boxing had a UFC fighter who's doing extremely well, and he's actually a UFC fighter fighting on Misfits. Now, I was reading, if you guys go to ESPN.com, the article, they say that they don't want that. They say, in fact, Dana White says he doesn't want anybody that is signed as a UFC fighter to be part of this league. He said he's going to separate that. But, here's a good comment from Wiley. He says, what about Alex Pereira? There's a lot of people that want to see Alex Pereira fight. In fact, Turki Al-Sheikh, like he had Ngannou fighting Tyson Fury. It looks like he wants Alex Pereira to cross over as well. Maybe that would be the right place for him to begin. He's already had some professional boxing, but to get his feet wet again in boxing before maybe taking on a fight in Saudi Arabia. All right, this main event is starting right now. Manny Flores on GoldenBoy. I'm watching along. Antonio Diaz, the Coachella Valley's best, man. They just got great fighters. I can see Beck the Bully's back there in his corner. Man, they have some great fighters. Dimitri Bivol comes out of Coachella Valley. He trains out of there. They just do things right in the desert. They do things right in what's that? Gucci Flores got his ass handed to him by Camarón Cepeda. Is that the one loss? I forgot, man. Shout out to Don A. What's going on, my dude? Good to see Don A in the building. Donnie, I was just talking to Johnny Savage last night, literally. We was talking about, let's bring it back, man. Let's bring back a Friday night show. Shout out to Donnie on YouTube, guys. Good friend, man. He used to have a cracking Friday night show. It was hilarious. Hopefully we can do it again. Hope your family's doing well as well. Good to see everybody up in here again. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button. The main event is starting. I'm watching along. You guys can talk to me about it. But what do you guys think about this UFC entering the foyer? Here's the statement really quickly. Let me pull up this statement to describe this bullshit a little bit more here. All right, that's obviously them. The Ring Magazine, TKO, Sella, that was them. They're announcing that, but yeah, I'm not too sure. You guys know if this is going to be part of that boxing Grand Prix? Is that what they're talking about? And this looks like it here. All right. Turki Al-Sheikh and TKO announced launch of new boxing promotion company in partnership with Sella. Turki Al-Sheikh with TKO Group Holdings. TKO owns the WWE and UFC. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. A global... Oh, shit, I should check out how that stock is doing, especially with the announcement of that. That's really having some, wow, you have some stock of that. A global leader in sports entertainment and Sella, a leading entertainment conglomerate, have today announced a multi-year partnership to establish a new boxing promotion that will provide a premier platform for both leading boxers and prospects in the sport. Prospects and leading boxers, okay? Speaking on the significant milestone, Turki Al-Sheikh said this landmark partnership between industry powerhouses sets the stage for an unparalleled experience for boxers and fans. Together, we are developing the next generation of talent and delivering world-class events at a time when the sport is primed for further disruption. Thank you, V. Thank you. We got the best mods in the business here. Actually, hold on a second here. Let me make my boy here a mod really quickly. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna make Don A. Don A gets a wrench if he didn't already have one. Oh, he's got a wrench. Good for him. So Theo got the wrench. My boy Fonzie gets a wrench. He gets a wrench. All right, all wrenched up. Thanks, guys. All right, one more thing about this UFC deal. It looks like he says that the main training centers are going to be right here in Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a UFC training center, Mexico City, and Shanghai, China. Shanghai, China is going to have one of these. Shout out to Boxing Vitals. Good to see you, man. Let me do I have you as a mod here? Let me make sure. Make sure you guys follow my boy Boxing Vitals on Instagram. I'll let you, and Twitter too. I'll put you here. You could drop your link if you like, man. Good to see Boxing Vitals. Boxing Vitals, are you excited about Fresno's Jose Ramirez taking on Devin Haney? And how do you see that fight going, man? Shout out to everybody out in the Fresno area. Tell your boy to calm down with the Terrace Homes. Man, Las Vegas is, I don't know where actually, I bought a car, guys, like 2 weeks ago. I want to make a video out of it, but they had called me back to tell me that, did you know that they said, did you know the car you wanted was made in Mexico? And I didn't actually get that car. I got a different car. I'm like, you fucking telling me BMWs are made in Mexico? they have a BMW. They have multiple BMWs made in Mexico. The guy calls me back. He goes, yeah, we're going to raise the price on that. He's like, you're lucky you didn't buy that piece of shit. I'm like, 3 Series is made in Mexico? Fuck. Yeah, man, they're going to put a big tariff on that. But thank God for now that Donald Trump is backing off those tariffs, some of the automotive at least. But honestly, the one that matters the most to me, aside from automotive, is spirits, tequila. Please. I don't want to go down to the strip and pay $25 for a fucking margarita because there's a tariff on tequila. I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay $30 for a shot of Patron. I just don't. Thank you. So Teo says, Antonio's the lead corner man tonight, not Joel Diaz. Let me take a quick look how that's going over here. Yeah. The stock market is in turmoil, guys. Guys, I don't know if anybody here likes to invest. If you do, I made a very, very I made a very sizable investment today. I called my broker, and I'm going to give you guys 2 of them right now that I invested in. They're almost at the historic low. I bought tons of this stock today, and I bought tons of this one. I really should be doing a show on finance. Excuse me, I got a text message. Is it Drew Evo trying to get on the show? Yeah. Oh, I just got a text. It says, Don A, if you come to Vegas, we're having a big Memorial Day weekend. SPYQQQI, guys, those are ETFs. If you love to invest, Don, I know you're a very smart investor. They pay, on average, 12 to 14% monthly. And I bought the stock at both of them. I bought both of them today. The SPY follows the SP 500, which is in the tanks. The NASDAQ is in the fucking tanks, QQQI. But it don't matter. I bought 200 shares a piece today of each of them for about $49 a piece. And it pays 12. Well, I think one of them pays 12% and the other one pays 14% monthly qualified dividend income. Qualified dividends, guys. Talk to your accountant. Talk to your CPA. Get yourself qualified dividends. You only pay 15% tax. It's not taxed like a fucking CD. It's not taxed like a savings account. You pay what rich people pay. You pay 15% or less on qualified dividends. Fonzie, buy those 2 stocks that I told you. You don't have to think about it. Just add money to them every month. 10 to 12 years, you're going to be making Skrilla. All right, guys, the fight's underway. It's round 2. Let me see what else I got here. All right, let's move on to the Cinco de Mayo stuff because Cinco de Mayo, obviously talking about Vegas. Let's see here. Gucci Mane isn't moving his head off the line, and that's a bad thing. That is definitely a bad thing, man. That's a bad habit. Hopefully his corner will tell him to make an adjustment on that. Or maybe he won't need to. Maybe he'll get away with it. Today, Flores has no answer about the 1-2. Donnie says, that's what I'm talking about. I hope you're talking about the investment thing today that I bought stock on because, guys, I know that a lot of people who do have 401ks, that's how most people get into investing, but you should also have your own brokerage account and invest in it when there are recessions. They are saying a recession. The Atlanta Fed is saying there is a recession coming. Plan for it. I've been through so many. I haven't stopped working since 2001 straight. The longest layoff, I think, was 90 days between jobs. And I've been through a ton of recessions. And every recession, I've seen people get really fucking rich. And it's because instead of freaking out, they invest heavily in all the good stocks. They invest in shit like Amazon, whatever it is, all the great companies. When that stock hits rock bottom, when you know it's hitting record lows, just buy it. Just buy it. It's going to bounce back and you'll thank me for it. And then some 10, 15 years later, you might be a millionaire. All right, enough stock talk. Cinco de Mayo. We talked about the first fight, which is obviously going to be on Friday night, May 2nd. You got Rolando Romero versus Ryan Garcia. You know, that's going to be a great card. Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. And then we get this one, guys. Fatal Fury. Woo. That one disappeared. Fatal Fury, guys. Canelo is fighting William Skull. William Skull, a German citizen, straight out of Cuba. Unknown to most people in America. Basically, no one's ever paid attention to him. He just picked up that vacated IBF belt. The IBF stripped Canelo Alvarez of his title, no longer being undisputed, making him just holding 3 of the titles. And William Skull fought for it and barely beat a guy named Shishkin. Now, we've seen some pretty serious upsets this year. Pretty serious upsets. And Wiley Coyote says this is a tune-up fight. It's a tune-up fight for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to look at this as a tune-up fight. But damn, I just can't get the idea that Jaime Munguia recently took a tune-up fight in Tijuana, a homecoming fight for him. In his backyard, he picks up this guy from Italy, and he gets knocked out by the unknown Italian. You know, Jaime Munguia, the big superstar who just fought Canelo, gets knocked out. Jaime Munguia is going to be on this card on May 3rd. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Excuse me. It's going to be against William Skull. And does William Skull offer anything here? He is from the Cuban School of Boxing. This is from the Cuban School of Boxing. We've seen that Canelo today in the press conference, he said, listen, man, this isn't going to be an easy fight. And this is what I want to hear out of Canelo. He's not going to overlook this guy. Canelo's training hard. I could tell you could see the videos. He's already taking this guy very serious. Maybe he gets the first knockout in years. They asked him about it today. He hasn't had a knockdown or a knockout. Well, he's had knockdowns, but he hasn't had a knockout in quite some time or a stoppage. Zurdo went down. Did I just miss that one? Let me make sure round 3 that I am not live. Oh, man, I'm delayed here. So, There, you were saying he wasn't moving his head off the line, but is it even necessary? Jorge Zurdo Leiva of La Paz, Mexico. Maybe it's not necessary. Maybe he's got enough power to stop this fight. Will Canelo get the knockout that he's been looking for, that he has? It's been evading him for so long. William Skull, Canelo. Don't overlook this guy, guys. I know Skull doesn't look like much, but I don't think he's going to overlook him. I hope he gets the stoppage. It is Cinco de Mayo, but I also hope that William Skull gives the best account of himself. And lately we've seen that. Lately we've seen a lot of upsets. A lot of people didn't have Lamont Roach winning this Saturday. And if you counted that as a knockdown, then in your mind, you know that Lamont Roach legitimately beat Tank Davis this past Saturday. William Skull, Cuban School of Boxing, he does have a height advantage. Let's look at this height, man. He does have a natural size advantage. In fact, I think his build is pretty impressive. William Skull's shoulders, his back, he's got an impressive build. Does that mean anything to Canelo? No. Canelo's knocked out much bigger guys. You know, he's knocked out Caleb Smith, who was 6'3", broke the guy's bicep. Fonzie brings up a damn good question. Where are we watching this match? Most likely I'll be up there in Vegas that weekend enjoying $25 shots and $50 margaritas. That's right, especially if the tariffs don't change. We're in round 4 now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. How much longer is this fight going to go? 917 likes for GoldenBoy. Let's get this show up to 30 likes at least. Fonzie, that's a good point. Las Vegas is the epicenter. It's the fight capital of the world. And I don't know why Turki Ali Sheikh insisted on having this amazing fight card with Ryan Garcia, Teofimo, who has a house in Las Vegas. Romero has his house in Las Vegas. I don't know why he's trying to change cultural. It's like Turkey. It's like he wants to fuck with the Mexicans. He is fucking with the Mexicans. He's putting on fights with people like Canelo now. But there's a slap in the face to Mexican and Mexican-American fan bases. We're not traveling to New York. We can't watch the fight. Fight's over, guys. Nice. Gucci Flores picks up a knockout. GoldenBoy Boxing. It's a little bit disrespectful. I'm going to be real with you. The Turki Ali Sheikh moving this fight to New York City is disrespectful. The nicest thing is that he's going to help put the Inoue fight on a Sunday, and Cardenas, a Mexican fighter, will be on that. But that's it. Other than that, the casinos are hurting in Las Vegas. And I mean, I don't know what we can do to get people to come to Las Vegas to watch these 3 fights. Maybe somebody will be smart enough to give a 3-day fight package. That's what I would do. These fucking casinos and marketing departments need to wake the fuck up. They need to do a 3-day package where you give people unlimited drinks and you can watch the fights, and you have a fight package. You show up Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. If not Sunday, at least Friday and Saturday to watch the Canelo fight on Saturday. Sunday, the fight is at the T-Mobile, so I find it pretty unlikely that they will be doing like closed caption theater. But for the Friday and Saturday event in Las Vegas, Canelo Alvarez with the time change in Saudi Arabia, it's probably going to be on midday, and it's going to leave everybody to have Saturday night free. Hopefully somebody will be listening to me. Thanks a lot, guys, everyone that's been joining me. Let's talk about really quickly this Friday night. I've had him on the show. Speaking of tariffs in Canada, I got a chance to meet this fighter years back. Great guy. I met him with Drew years back, and I want to thank Phil LaGreco, former PBC fighter from Toronto. Now his manager, Lucas Bari. I'm talking about Lucas Bari, who signed with MVP with Jake Paul's company. He knocked out one of the best knockouts of 2024, H2O Silva of Southern California. And this fight is tomorrow in Toronto. He's headlining an all-Canadian card on DAZN. He's undefeated still in the hottest division in boxing, 135 pounds. In my opinion, man, whether he comes up short, Phil LaGreco fought Errol Spence. You know, Phil LaGreco fought Errol Spence on short notice like that. I mean, he took up some of the best welterweights and came up short. But Phil LaGreco now finds himself as a manager. And whether or not Lucas Bari is going to rise to the top and become a champion in the most difficult division, the most talented division, Keyshawn Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis, Lomachenko. Even if he does not ever become a world champion, he's 1 or 2 fights away in the rankings, 135-pound rankings away from potentially getting a title shot, almost a 90% knockout ratio. In fact, the last Italian fighter he fought on the undercard of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, 500,000 people were watching Lucas Bari on YouTube. 500,000 people. You know Top Rank can't get 500,000 people, or GoldenBoy right now. I'm watching GoldenBoy. They got 7,000 people watching the broadcast, you know? Shout out to Lucas Bari, guys. Make sure you tune in for that. Watch this however you watch your boxing. Tomorrow night on DAZN, Lucas Bari. Saturday night, Pro Box. Very interesting. Kigai Kigai, that's how I say his name. He's a Ukrainian fighter, but you're looking at him, you're saying, man, he don't necessarily look Ukrainian to me. That's because he's full-blooded South Korean. Somehow his family ended up in the Ukraine. Fantastic fighter, one side to Top Rank. I don't think he's got a contract deal with Top Rank, but he's fought on Top Rank. And he's fighting a former Top Rank fighter. Let's see if I got this card. It's also going to feature Louis Lopez of Southern California, a guy I used to enjoy watching the shit out of. Welterweight Louis Lopez on Saturday. This fight is happening at Thunder Studios in Long Beach, California, on ProBox TV, on YouTube. Louis Lopez, a great club fighter. I used to watch him fight on Thompson Boxing all the time. He's looking to get signed, man. He's on the comeback, 16-2. A win over who he's fighting could, put him really in the mix in the welterweight division, kind of a lackluster division. But this is Saturday night. Really quickly, let me see here. So I was talking about the main event. The main event is a crossroad fight because Kigai is fighting Yoet Gonzalez. Yoet Gonzalez, a former top-ranked fighter, featherweight contender. I got to see him fight one time against Shakur Stevenson in Reno, Nevada, like 5 years ago when I launched the Shoeshine podcast. That was the main event. Yoet Gonzalez. At the time, Shakur Stevenson, this is cold. Shakur Stevenson was dating his sister. He fought the guy. Boy, did that put the sister in a tough spot. That really did. Oh, man. Guys, it's been a great show. Saturday, watch some YouTube fighting if you're home. Go out, whatever. Tomorrow's First Friday in Las Vegas. Should I go out tomorrow night and enjoy the shenanigans? First Friday in Las Vegas. Always. It's going to be a cool night, probably. The winds have been howling like crazy. But I do want to watch this Lucas Bari fight, so I'm probably not going to head out. I'm a boxing above everything. I'm wishing everybody Teofimo good vibrations this weekend. We will be back on the air next Monday. Thank you to all my new mods. Thanks to everybody that tunes in. Drevo will be back on the air this Monday. Really quickly, shout out to Boxing Vitals, who helps promote a lot of shows in the region, in his Fresno region. Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing here in Central Valley in Porterville, California. I will be there. Their main event card, Evangelista versus Wasi. Boxing Vitals, can people tune in online anywhere? Anywhere that we could watch this bare knuckle fighting? And shout out to Boxing Vitals. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. He's part of doing some great promotional cards in the Fresno Valley. I'll stay on here. Wally Coyote says, I'm staying home. Tariffs. Shout out to my boy Fro14. I don't know how he could afford it. Fro14 from Canada, YouTuber, man. I know a lot of Canadians are talking about they're going to boycott Las Vegas. I will. Okay, it's going to be on YouTube, guys. So look out for Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing. Look that channel up this weekend. It'll be on YouTube. Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing. What time should we look out for that? Boxing Vitals? I'll definitely check it out. Man, Bare Knuckle Boxing in the Central Valley in Porterville, huh? Yeah, you guys could tell, man. I've run out of shit to talk about. Good night, Veronica. Thanks to everybody who's here. Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing here in Central Valley, Porterville, California, on YouTube. So more for you combat sports fans. 6 p.m. Great. All right, guys, 6 p.m. Boxing Vitals. Check out our boy. They're putting on a local show there, and it's bare knuckle. So expect to see a lot of blood. Dave in the 702. I'll see you guys Monday night, 7:45 p.m. for the next Shoeshine. Until then, peace out, everybody.